Okay, let's begin. Let me see. Oh, uh, me, let me use this. Okay, so we don't have many slides for today. However, today's lecture, we're going to go through this Catalan automation tool. So you can see that I opened the Zoom. I try to record today's lecture because there's a lot of operation for you, so that recording the video and post on Canvas, then you can go back to review. Okay, so last week we finished in here. We finished GitHub and the Jenkins, and we all practice how the whole process doing. And after Jenkins deploy the job to the testing environment or production environment, especially to the testing environment, we need to do the testing. So this testing is the system test, but most of the system test is not, you cannot automate, involve manual setup and run a test case manually. However, there's some test cases still can be automated, like the GUI testing. So that's what we are doing today. We are using the tool called Catalan. It's a test automation tool. And this tool, you can automate a lot of operations. Like you can test the web, you can test the standalone, the desktop app. You can test the mobile app. You can test the web API. So there's a lot of things you can do the testing. And what we focus on today is testing a website. Testing a website and try to automate the operation on the website. So in order to do that, we follow these steps. I will show you one by one. First, we can record the steps, and replay, and to see, you can repeat what we recorded. And then we try to catch the object in the website so that later on we can do the coding. We can do the coding. We catch the object. And then there's a two mode. One is the manual mode, one is the script mode. The manual mode is more like you don't have to do any coding. You just add operations, add steps in the step you already have, or make some change of the step you already have. And the other one is a more flexible way, is a script mode, which means you're going to write code. So that then you can control the script, you can assign the variables and so on. And later, we try to introduce the variables. So initially, when we do the recording and the replaying, we just type in the data. So in order to make the data more available, I mean, we can read from data, we assign the variables. And then we can see that we can get the data from the Excel. For example, you can save your data in Excel, then the script can read the data from Excel and then run from there. So when we have more test cases, and then involving how we organize test cases. So you will see there's a series of steps you're going to do. So so all these steps, except the last one, you're going to use, you're going to practice in your lab. So let's use the lab website as an example to illustrate these steps. So let me open the lab. So I have this lab 5. Oh, lab 5. I unzip it. So this is a lab assignment. So first you need to download the Catalan Studio. To download the Catalan Studio, you need to create an account, and then you use its free version. So this Catalan has a personal version and enterprise version. And enterprise version, of course, you need to pay. But a personal version, you can just download. So when you download, it will just give you a zip file. Yeah, you download a zip file, then you just unzip it, then you can run. Actually, you don't have to install. You just unzip it, then it's like a green software. You can just run from there. So you can see that I try to download to this classroom machine, and I can run from there. So you need to create a Catalan account in here. Once you have an account, then you can create a multiple project, and then you can share with others. So it's very similar to the Git, and also this one can connect with the Git and the GitHub. That's a whole new direction, but we don't practice that part. We only practice how we automate the steps. So what we do is to test this website. We test this website. So this website is simply do the parking cost, is a parking cost calculator. In here, you can choose the parking lot. Of course, different parking lot has different rate. And here is give you the rate calculation, how to calculate rate. And then in here, you can choose the date and choose time, choose date and choose time. For example, you can choose, and then I can choose time. Then I can choose a parking lot, then I do the calculation. So the parking cost supposed to be aligned with the requirement here. And of course, I'm telling you this website contains some error, so that's why I want you to do the testing. So if you try different combination, then you may see that the parking cost is not aligned with the requirement. So once it's not exactly the same as a requirement, you consider that one as a defect. So since here we have so many different choices, it's better we can automate, right? We can do the automation so that we can choose different parking lot. We can choose different date, different time, and do the calculation, and then check the result automatically. If I have like 100 test cases, I just run this test case here. I just run, then it can run 100 times. as many as you want. So how we can do that? So that's what we try to do here. So once you download and open this catalog, you can just create a new project. So in here, you can say my project in here. Yeah, you can just give it any name. It's a parking cost calculator. Then you just give the location of this one. You can say, well, this is 423 lab 5. You create one. And also you can specify the repository. So if you want to connect with the GitHub, you can do that. But in here, we just choose, we just leave this one blank. And then this one gives you the type. You can see that you can test the web. You can test a web API. You can test a mobile app. You can test a desktop. It can be generic. So actually, I usually choose generic. When I choose a generic, when I choose a test case, I can specify any type. So here I choose generic. But if this one is strictly for web, you can just choose web. So this one, either this one. Yeah, let's choose web. Let's do. Now you will create a project. Okay. So once I create a project, I can show you a few icons on the top. So on top here, you can see that you can record the web, you can spy web. The purpose of spy web is to catch the object in a web. So in order to automate this process, we need to catch what this object is, and then we assign this one with a value. And then what's this object? And then we assign a date. So we need to catch the object. So this spy web, I mean the spy web is to do that, is to catch all the objects. But there's an easy way to do that. I usually do the record web, because when you record a web, it's already catch this object for you. So for any, operation like this web, you have both spy and record. For the mobile application, you can do the spy and the record. For the Windows desktop, you can do spy and the record and so on. So in here, this gives you different options to do. So to use this function, we first need to create a test case. So in here, you have a test case here. So I usually right-click on it. And then in here, you can create a new folder and test cases. A better way is always start with a folder so that we can organize your test case better. So in here, to align with what we are trying to test in here, since it's a valet parking short. So for each one, I want to create a folder. So one folder just for the valet parking, and the other one for the short term and so on. We do that. So here we call the valet. So there's a folder here. Then you create a new test case under this folder. Then you can just give it any name. There's a test case 1, valet, test case 1. Description and tag are optional. Okay, so this I create empty test cases. So to let this test case do something, now I can do the recording. I do the recording. And then here you type in what URL, you try to do the recording. And then in here, you can choose different browser. So in my case, since I using this Chrome, so I just choose the Chrome. Then you click on it, then it will start recording. So the way is to do the recording is to open another Chrome. Then you do the operation here. So in here, I see that it's allowed me to choose the parking lot. Then I just choose everyone to see what's the value for each one. Yeah, just choose all of them. So this will catch all the object. Okay. And then I choose a date. For example, I choose tomorrow. And then I give a time. For example, 1 o'clock. And this one, 05, is 3. And then give us 13. And click on calculate. Okay. Now I come back to here. I say stop recording. Stop recording. Okay, so here I want you to pay attention to here. You can see that this one record all the operation I have. And of course, some of the operation is like when I go through the object is already catch it. So here I want to show the captured object. Captured object. The reason we need to go through every object is sometimes this object they catch the name is very is weird. So we need to see if the name actually makes sense. Like this one, we can see that this one is related to click. So this is input 0 submit. This one is related to the submit button I click, right? So this name is okay. Yeah, and so this object name also makes sense. That's okay. So before we save the object, we go through everyone to see if the name makes sense. And the first one, you can see this name doesn't make sense. Yeah, this name is actually, this object is actually related to which parking lot we do. So here I give a new name. It's called select parking lot. Yeah, the original name is captured is containment space is not easy to do the coding. So I just change this one to the select parking lot. Then you can see the object here change also. Now you can save the script. You click on the save script. Then it's asking you where you want to save this object we just catch. So usually I just here you can specify the folder. So here I can just use this folder. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, create a new folder and then it's all of them. Now you can see that in here I have a test case, and then I have folder, and I have an object. So each object you can take a look and what the name and the attribute. Let's look at the step here. So this is called a manual mode. So this is the manual mode. Then you can make a change to them, and then you can also go to the script. And go to the script. So this contains the code. So this is the part I want you to pay attention. So from here, what I try to do is just to choose a parking lot, set a date, set a time, set a date, set a time, and do the calculation. I only need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 steps. But this one gives me so many of them. The reason is when I do the recording, my mouse goes through many objects. Once my mouse goes through an object, it's actually already recorded in here. So this basically I record a lot of unnecessary steps. So the first step is to clean. Yeah, to make the clean. So for example, like this one is just find this object but didn't do anything. So probably this one is the one I mouse goes through this field. And then it's record this one. So I just remove this one. Or if you are not sure this one is a valid or not, you can comment. Yeah, I comment. So now, this one is right. Yeah, I choose a date, I choose a time. And this one, yeah, probably not necessary. This one is also 13, 12, 13. Yeah, first is 12 becomes 13. So probably this one is also not necessary. This one is not necessary. Okay. So now I do some cleaning here. Yeah, I remove some unnecessary step. So it's very straightforward. Choose a parking lot. But in here, what we try to do is first we test the valet parking, and in our catching the object, I choose everyone. So the reason I choose everyone is I just want to see what value they catch, what value associated with each parking lot. So initially in here, I just want to choose the valet, then I can comment out the other, only keep this valet parking. Only keep this valet parking. Okay, save it. Then in here, I can rerun. It. So this icon is to rerun. Of course, when you rerun, you can choose I run on different web browser, but here I still choose the default. Let me see. Yeah, after you finish, it close the web browser. I don't want to close it. The reason is I want to keep the web browser to make sure I do the right thing. So I comment this close web browser. I run it. Yeah, it has this problem before. It won't run. It won't run. I need to restart it. When I start again, it will run. Yeah, because this classroom machine has some kind of restriction. I cannot just let me do this.
Based on Java?
Yeah, the core is Java.
Basically, you often library.
You can, yeah, the inside is Java. Yeah. So you can write a Java code or Groovy. Yeah, let me run it. Make sure, okay, now it's run. Yeah. So you can see that it's repeat my step. It change the date and click on the calculate. So it's already automate the step I try to do. So in here, and then once it's run, it gives you the log. Shows you that if every operation is every step goes through successfully. If successfully, and this one is green. If anything go wrong, then this one will show you the error message. So now we can do some customize. So in here, you can make a change to the script. So for example, I still choose October 4th and October 5th. But if I choose, I can change this one to 14, right? I can change the date. So this is how we customize, how we make change to the code. So the easy way first is we hard code, then we change the we change the data here. And then I save it. Then if I run again, then you will see that become 14. Yeah, 13 become 14, then it's 36.
Is our application written And HTML is that JavaScript or it's on Kotlin?
Hmm?
Is it based on HTML CSS and
No, this one is based on, so actually, the code here is not a Java, it's called the, some code on top of Java is called the Luli or Vuli. Let me see the, hold on, let me see the, let me go to the download, the lab 5. It's called the Groovy. The Groovy, yeah.
right from Java?
Yes, yeah. Okay, so here I see that it shows the cost is 36. Is 36. And when we read the description, we can see that the valet parking daily is $18. And the first 5 hours is $12. So this one is 1 day and 1 hour. So based on the requirement, it should be 18 plus 12, right? Should be 30, it's not 36. So is there any way that we can catch to see if this one return the right value? But obviously this one doesn't return the right value, but how we can catch it? Then this one actually contain a verify. So so here we can go to the menu. So once we do the click, I can add a statement to check. So here you can choose like a verified text present. So what this does is this one will check HTML of this page and to check if this value exists. So here, what we try to check is 36. Now we know that the right answer should be 30, right? So I'm going to check if 30 exists. If 30 exists. So this is before I run this. Based on the requirement, I know this one should return 30. So here I add a verification statement to check if this one is actually 30. So let me run this again. Okay. Now we go back to the log. You can see that it's not a green anymore. The last step failed. And then it's giving you why it's failed, because they caused by, we try to have a 30, but a 30 is not there. Yeah, 30 is not there. So this is how we do testing. So we have the input data, we have the expected data, then we check if the expected data match with the actual data. If it's not match, they'll give a warning. So this tool will allow us to do that. So so in here you can, the next you can do, yeah, you can make a change to the code. You can make a change to the code and test more code, right? Yeah, so here you can just simply copy and paste, make change in here. So here I can choose like, for example, like 6. Now is a 2 day, 1 hour, 2 day, 1 hour. 2 day, 1 hour, it should be 30, 40, 48. Yeah, this one should be 48. So you can see that it will make it, it should run these two together. I mean, run these two in a sequential order. Let me run it. First is 5, give a warning message. Oh, okay, it's not continued. Why is that? Because by default, when this cache arrow is stopped, so in order to run test case continuously, we need to configure the project to continue when there's a failure. Where should we do that? You go to the project, you go to project setting. There is a test design, test case. So in here, you see the test case, the default of failure handling is stop on failure. But in here, we do not want to stop on, we want to continue. Even as a failure, we only continue. Then finish all the test cases, then give me a report. So now I reply. So in here, if I run again, it won't stop. Now it's 36. Okay, there's a failure, but it still continue. Okay, now you can go back to see the log. You can see these all the steps, and then you have two steps that didn't pass. And when you click on it, it gives you the detail why it didn't pass. Okay, let's look at this code here. We can see that we hard-code everything. Yeah, we hard-code everything. So, I mean, a way that makes sense is we assign a variable to this. So we can do that. How we do it? We first define a parking lot. Empty parking lot. Define a start date. Define a start time. Define exit date. Define, sorry. Define exit time. So exit time, okay. And here is okay. And also we can define expected cost. Now we can do in here, then we don't need to hard code. Yeah, then we don't need to hard code. So here we give the parking lot. Now the parking lot is valet, right? Parking lot is valet. Start date is start time is exit date. Exit time. 14. Expected cost. We copy here. Why does it not recognize? Illegal stream body. Yeah, probably this dollar sign. This dollar sign caused some trouble.
Sometime.
Yeah, it's a dollar sign. Okay, let's make 30 to see what happened. Okay. So now I can change this one to parking lot instead of the valet, hardcode valet, I use parking lot. Start date, I don't have the hardcode. And replace everything with the variable here. Exit time. And this one will be expected cost. Okay, so now our code become more generic. So let's run if the code actually work. I save it. I run it. Yeah, it's working. It works. Yeah, works. Okay, now if I want to make a change, I just copy and paste. And then I just changing here, right? Yeah, changing here, then I can become new data. So in here, you may think of, yeah, this is a good idea. So once we have a variable, can we just save the data in Excel? And then we run a for loop to read the Excel data. And then we go from there. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, actually, we can do it. Before we do that, we first create Excel to save all the data. So in the data should be aligned with what the data we created in here, like the parking lot, start date, start time, exit date, exit time, expected cost. Okay, now the parking lot, the data must align with this. See that when we calculate, when we catch the object, so the valet must be the valet. The data type should be the same. Valet should be valet. If you want to test a short, then you need to put short here. You cannot put a short, and so this one must be exactly the same as when we catch the object, we know the value. For the economic, use economic. Long-term garage is a long dash garage. Long-term surface is a long dash surface. Yeah, so here I just all the data here. And then start date, we but in here, since one thing we need to do is to make sure that tax, because in here in the Excel, and it recognize this one as a date. We need to make sure this one is we format the cell to tax. No, actually, the whole thing is tax. The whole thing is tax. Now we change this one to 1004. Expected cost, this one should be what is it? Exactly like this. Okay. So now you can just copy and paste. So here you need to design your data. Okay, I just so when you now you need to manually calculate the expected cost in here. So let's we just this one should be 18 actually. 18 if it is 1 day for the short is 24. If 1 day economic is 9. Okay, let's just change 3. Okay. Now I need to save it. I save to this PC. I save it here. Save to the same lab 5. And just this is a parking data. Okay, now I create this data, and then I want to run a for loop to read from this Excel. So in order to do that, we first need to add the Excel file to the data file here. You create a new test data. Now you can just say this is a parking, the parking data, something like that. Give a name. Then we need to specify where is the parking, where is this data. So of course, this data is the Excel we just created. And then you choose the first row is as a header. So here we have 5 data, and then in here. Okay, next we need to run a for loop. And then go here, we add the for loop and then read the data from that Excel. How to do that? So in order to do that, we define a few other things. Define a row number as 0. As a define a total row number as 2, for example. Yeah, that's 2. Now we create a for loop for row number is 1, row number less equal total row number. For row, why is not recognized? Noise. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, I include everything here in the for loop. Okay, now I have a for loop, and then of course I need to read. Now I cannot just do the hard code. Yeah, we need to read from this data. So there's a statement, or let me see, it's a function called. There's a function called find test data. So the test data is a parking data. So here is parking data. So that's what we define here, the parking data. Then we get value. Get a value. I mean, the first one is a column. So the parking lot, when we look at the parking data, the first column, the parking lot value is in the first column. So this one is the first column, and then the row number. Okay, so this is the so this is the function we do. We find test data, and data is a parking data, and then we get the value, and which value we get for the parking lot is the first column and the row number. And then we can just copy and paste for each of them here. And then what we need to do is to change the column number, okay? So the start date is the second column. This start time is third column, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now I have a for loop, and I just want to run the first two line here. Let's see if this one actually do it. Here's a valet. Okay, good. Okay. Error. Short term. Error, your leaving date. Oh, okay. 203. Let me see the Excel data. Oh yeah, it's right. 2023. Good. Now it shows that actually reading the data from the Excel. So let me change it. Okay, I'll save. Then I run again to see what happened. Let me close some. Well, there's a lot of them. Okay, let me go back here. We run again. We run this for loop. We just run the first two. Choose valet parking, choose the date. And then, okay. And choose shorten, remember, because the second time is shorten. Good. Then after that is go back to the valet parking. So it seems that anytime when you choose a different one, you do the calculation, then go back to the valet parking. Probably that's another defect. So if I choose anyone I want to stay in there so that I can verify. So in order to do that, probably is in here, whatever date we choose, once we submit, we go back to the original so that we can verify. Okay, there's another trick here. Since here we hard code the total row, the total row is 2, but in our Excel, we actually has a 5. So can we read the row number? Then we don't have to, when we change the Excel, we don't need to go back to change the code. So there's a way to do that. So here we assign. So here we do not assign the total row number as 2. We still use the find test data function. parking data. Get row numbers.
It's possible to use something like rank.
No, this one has a specific function to do that. The get row number. Now this one is not the total number is not 2 anymore. It's should become 5. Now let's run this program. You should run 5 times. The first time valet parking. The second time should be short. Then continue shorten economic. Next time long-term garage parking. The last one is a long-term surface parking. Okay. Yes.
Also, like we are using the third-party application, so can we use this software on someone else's website?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You can use for this one for any website. So
What about the user restriction?
The only restriction is for some website you may not be able to catch the object. As long as you can catch the object, you can operate on that object. So yeah, for example, like let's do another website, like online calculator, for example. Let's do that. For example, like this one. Like this 7, 8, you cannot catch it because this is 1. So when I use this one, let me see, use the spy this website, for example. You can see all the object, even they show different number on the top. On the left top corner, show you the object name. You can see that for any number I go is the same object. So for this kind of website, you cannot automate because this one cannot detect objects. So it still have some limitation. Okay. So that's why in your today I also post the final exam. I'm sorry, the meeting exam instruction. Let me go to here. So this catalog will appear in your meeting exam. So what I will ask you to do, it will be one of these 3 site operations. Yeah, use catalog to automate. So one of them will be your meeting exam. Use a Gmail to send an email to to a list of people. Search the YouTube video, and save the keyword in a file, and read the file one by one. Search the YouTube, or search the flight on airline website, for example, like United or AA.com. By reading the front city, destination city, departure date, return date, and number of passengers from Excel. So this thing, very similar to what we do here. So what we do here is we run for loop, and then we read from the Excel for the data we are looking for, and then we put into the text field, click on search. So what we do here in your midterm, you're going to use similar thing I do in here. Yes.
What's the difference between hacking a website and this?
Hacking a website? No, I'm not asking to hacking their website. No, don't do that. I'm asking you to automate. Yeah, I know for any technology, any tool, you can use the evil way. No, we are not doing We are not using the evil way. Okay, we automated to do the testing. If you, yeah, of course, you can try to like register the Gmail account, but as far as I know, like a Gmail account, there's authentication to verify you are not a bot, right? Yeah. Yeah, with this one, I mean, this one is a very powerful tool. Please use this one. Yeah, I hope this one can help you when you do the testing. Okay, it's not, but don't try to, I mean, hack in there. Yeah, the website. Okay, so let's go to the lab. So the lab is to like follow what I do. Yeah, of course, today's material is kind of overwhelming, but today I already record what I did. I'm going to post the video. You can go back to check the video to see how you can starting from recording and hard code a variable, and then read a variable from Excel and run the for loop to do the things, and then how you verify the data is right or not. So so this is a part one of the lab, is to write a script. And then if you see there's a defect, if any of these tests not pass, you need to write the bug report. Yeah, so the report is to give an overview, describe the bug, and shows the steps to reproduce. How to reproduce this defect, and what's the actual result and what's the expected result. Of course, this actual result and expected result must be different. Yeah, then you consider this as a bug. So this one is a straightforward. The only, I mean, the tricky part is how you write the program. So I already give you the sample code I have. So in the lab 5, I give you the sample data, test data, and the sample code I have. So you can use you can use the VS Code to open this file to check the code I have. Your deliverable is your final code and your defect report. So since I already give you the sample code, you can easily get the code, but I still want you to follow the step I go through today. Yeah, to go through today so that you can better prepare for your midterm exam. So today I cannot demo the desktop, how this one can automate the desktop. Because in order to do that, I need to install some additional add-on, but this machine doesn't allow me to do that. But if you want to explore how to automate the window desktop, you can do that. And this one also allow you to test, I mean, the mobile app. And this one also needs some additional installation. So I will leave that to you to do on your own. As I said, this one is a very powerful tool. You may have heard about another tool is called Selenium. Yeah, is a testing tool, and this tool is built on top of Selenium, and also Selenium can only test the web, cannot test the mobile application, cannot test the desktop, and this one can do all of them. So as far as I can see, this one is more powerful than Selenium. Even Selenium, exists longer and more powerful. I mean, more popular, but this one is more powerful. And by the way, this one's the web engine is built on top of Selenium. So this one actually does everything Selenium does. Okay, I think that's it for today. Let me make sure. I mean, the last thing is to organize the test cases. So in here, suppose you have many test cases, then one way to organize is by the folder here. Another way is by the suite. So in here, I can create a new suite, and then you can add test cases. You can add a test case. For example, I can add all the test cases from validate in here. So this is only when you have a more test cases. We organize by the test suite. So what's the differences of the? Let me do. For instance, now. Won't show me. Okay, basically these are test cases. I mean, a test suite is a group of test cases. And also when you create a test suite, you can create a collection of test suite. So basically the test case goes through three hierarchies: test case, test suite, and the test suite collection. So what difference of test suite collection and test suite? So when you group group the test suite to the collection of a suite, then you can run test suite in parallel. Okay, so when here when you have only test suite, you run one test suite and then you run the test case in there one by one in sequential order. But if you have a collection of suite, then you can run them in parallel. So which means you can have one collection is for one website, another collection for desktop operation, another collection for mobile app. Then you can run them all in parallel in one machine. That's a very powerful way to organize the test cases. Okay, but we won't practice that in our lab because that's needed. You have a lot of test cases. You have only there's a few test cases. There's no point to do that. But if you have hundreds, thousands, or even millions of test cases, then the test case management makes sense. Okay. Any question? Okay, let's one last thing is go through the meeting exam. So the meeting exam is on Thursday, October 19th. There's no lecture and lab next week. So this gives you 1 week to prepare for the exam. So the exam is open book and open notes. However, you have to prepare a cheat sheet, and the cheat sheet must be handwritten. The reason is, if it is open book and open note, and some students in the past they think, okay, I don't need to do any preparation as it come to do the exam, and during the exam I study. No, that's not the way. So here is a proof that you actually prepare for the exam. 4 pages one side. If both sides 2 pages. Well, since it's open book and open note, so this 4 pages is the minimum. You can have more. Yeah, you're welcome to have more. So the more you have is means you it shows your effort to prepare. So this one must be handwritten. You cannot just copy and paste. Copy and paste won't help you. So a type 1 will fail to submit. You're going to have a 15% penalty. You're going to use the lab machine. So I'm quite sure the lab machine has all the software installed. Git, like GitHub is a website and the Jenkins is a website. The Catalan, you can just unzip and run from there. I don't think there's any issue. So the topic, project scheduling. So I list all the topic in here. A few things I want to highlight, like the critical path, the n-value analysis. This will definitely appear in your exam. And for the cost estimation, there's a line of code based estimation and using the function point to do the estimation. For the configuration management, so here shows how form the baseline and the issues involving finding the configuration items and the definition of these terminologies and the git command, the common git command and the GitHub and the VS Code. And the VS Code. So basically everything we practice in the labs 3 and 4 will be covering here. And the continuous integration, definition and why it's useful, illustrate the process, and a scenario using GitHub, not Atom, I'm sorry. Yeah, this is VS Code. VS Code and Jenkins. So refer to your level 4. If you can do level 4, okay. I think, you know, I may just change the program instead of using hello Java. Hello world and some different code and ask you to do the change and do the same thing here. The last one is the test automation. So please practice these 3 on your own. How to use a Gmail to send an email to automate the process. Search YouTube and go to the AA.com or United.com and then do this automate search. Yes.
The test will be on Android or computer?
On the computer. On the computer. For example, like most of them is a typing. You can type on the word. Like this one involving the code. Yeah, you're going to copy and paste your script. You're done with the script. You copy paste script to the Word document.
Can it be in the lab or not?
Yeah, not in here in the lab. Yeah, this is too small. Yeah, and also I'm not sure your laptop can last that long. Yeah, so you're going to use a lab machine. Okay. If that's the case, I will see you later.